Hello and welcome back to another Sibelius 6 quick tip. This quick tip will maybe be a little bit longer than the other ones because I thought it would be a nice idea to show you how I transcribe a beat from, for example, a violin, cello to a violin and viola version, and then work on the layout and make it playable, also create a MIDI file export. So let's see how this goes. I just opened this file here. It is only one page, and I'm not going to do any kind of layout changes. I wouldn't do it normally, but I'm just going to do it exactly as me is mostly asked to do. So this is for violin and cello. It has to be violin and viola. So the first thing we do is change the instruments. Before I do anything, I lock the score. So I select everything, I do lock format, so whatever happens it cannot be changed, because this version is okay, the layout of this version. I don't want to work on the layout, I don't want to work on the textiles, nothing, only instrument change. So let's start with changing the cello into a viola, and we go to create other instrument change. We choose from here the viola solo, because it's a viola solo, and add clef. Don't need this option here, so only add clef, and we click at the beginning. So as you can see now, of course most of the notes are out of range, so because the viola has a other kind of range than the cello. They start both on a C, and the range upward is pretty much the same. It's a very high C4, I think, 4, 5, 6, C7 or something. Even the cello can come very high, but the lower note is what is more important here. They start both on a low C, but the viola start one octave higher than the cello. So what we could try to see how it goes, we can select the whole viola part, and then just transpose it one octave up. Let's see, and transpose. Normally I use my shortcuts for this, but you can do it like this also. You transpose everything up a major octave. There you go. I don't like this, so we turn it off. And now everything is pretty much within the range of the viola, except this one, but it's because the cello uses an alt clef and the viola doesn't. So we delete this one, and now most of it comes back. Is there another one maybe? No. So as you can see, this looks pretty good here. Everything is within the range, except this seems to go a little bit high, and this is really high, or we should use another clef. But I think if possible, I'd rather stay in the normal range as it was with the cello. So I put this an octave lower again, notes, transpose, and this one I do down, and now it looks much better. So what I in fact did was I transposed this beginning section one octave higher, so I say in the viola lowest section range, but I pulled back to the normal original range that the cello had with the rest of the piece, because this falls really nicely within the range of the viola. So that is one thing. The next thing I normally do is just check and play on the piano if everything plays nicely, because sometimes after setting the range one octave higher here, it clashes with the viola, or it makes it in a way that's just not nice. And what I can see here, for example, is that this clashes here. We can just listen to it for a moment. as you can see, most of it sounds okay, but I'm going to little change later what I don't like here. For example, this whole part, it clashes too often. I have an A and a B flat against an A flat and a B flat against each other. So the part that I transposed up before, I should also transpose the violin in this case. See, this goes from here. See, it even goes above the violin. I think it would be nicer if I transpose the viola part also one octave up, in the same way I did with the cello. So it doesn't clash so much. This is much better already. Now let's check this here. See here, S, S, F against a G. So maybe in this case, I'm going to check it on my piano for a short moment. That sounds terrible. So let's see what happens if I put down the viola one octave in this, starting from here. It will sound like this. One more time. No, it's really not so nice. So I think I'm keeping this on our original pitch here, and I put this part as well octave higher. So what I'm doing in fact here is I check it phrase by phrase, and not really note by note, but phrase by phrase, to see does it clash, does it sound really ugly to listen to. And those short phrases I'm going to put an octave higher or lower to get a better combination. So let's listen to bar 17 here again. That sounds really nice. So I'm going to put this one also one octave higher, and then we continue from here. And that sounds terrible, so I'm going to put this also an octave higher. First I will play it, unless we put the viola one octave lower actually. So from here I'm going to put maybe the viola in this phrase lower and leave this as it is. Let's try it. Because I'm afraid so I put this. I'm afraid that the violin will be far too high for amateur players. So I'm going to put this octave lower, and that's actually the range of the cello, the way it was before. So let's start from here again. This always takes a little bit puzzling. This sounds really good. Let's continue from here. Let's see how this goes. First I play the way it is notated right now. So as you can hear, the viola goes in this range here above the violin, so it's too high. So I put this lower. Well, first I'm going to play it the viola one octave lower to hear how it sounds. This sounds actually really good if you don't count my mistakes in playing. So let's do it one more time. Perfect. Now let's continue here. Because it's in the middle of a phrase, I don't want to break it up. I want to keep the same phrase within one octave. But let's see, now this goes out of range of the viola now. Let's see how this sounds. It's a little bit heavy. Let's see. Now we will have to do it. You can also put this one octave higher like this, but I mean then it sounds really weird. It sounds very artificial to do that. So I keep it like this, and I will have to find a way to make the violin not to clash. So let's try. How do it? Wait. I can. This should be in the same octave. This jumps too much. No, that's not good. Sorry. So I put this also one octave lower, and now it sounds. And now I could do this as a new phrase, and then I put this higher, so it goes above the violin, but in a way that it doesn't clash so much. So now it's correct actually. So I broke up this phrase one octave lower, and this one I left it correctly in the same notation as was before. So I avoid having this out of range under the viola. So let's play from here.